Hi, Homeworthy. My name is Ashley Brenninkmeijer. Welcome to Miami. Come on in. I'll show you my home.
I'm Allison Kenworthy, the founder of Homeworthy, and on this channel we take you inside the world's most beautifully decorated homes and introduce you to the brilliant people who live there.
Hi Homeworthy, I'm Liz Lang. Welcome to Grey Gardens.
To watch Homeworthy ad-free, visit homeworthyplus.com or scan the QR code on screen. Homeworthy Plus provides an ad-free viewing experience and exclusive content featuring our beloved hosts.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I'm so excited.
And if you're looking to shop items inspired by this and other Homeworthy tastemakers, be sure to use the product links below.
Hi, I'm Ashley Brenninkmeijer. I'm an art dealer, and this is my home in Miami, Florida. So I'm from California originally, and I lived in LA for 8 years after moving from San Diego, and then I met my husband in Guatemala. It's like serendipity, and he happened to be British. So when we got married, I moved over there and had to do all the fun naturalization visas. And a lot of that started with me not being able to work. Alongside this, I've always been in the art world, either working at a gallery or working with a photographer, or that's also what I studied at USC. So art has always been kind of my North Star. Now, when I moved to London, when I couldn't work and I had a lot of free time, I went to a lot of markets and really sharpened my teeth with antiques. And then it happened to work out that that's kind of what led me to the Bow Store. Without telling you too much of my medical history, for some reason, I got COVID when I was 35 weeks pregnant with my youngest boy. And I was on breathing support and in the ICU, and I had to have an emergency delivery because we were not gonna make it. I don't know how else to say that, but it's true. And we were in the hospital for 2 weeks, and we were lucky enough to come home. And following that was a really pivotal moment for many reasons, but the main one was I was so put off, and I don't know if hurt's the right word, but just really upset about the linoleum floors and the bleach smell and the fluorescent lightings and everything that made me feel like I was never going to go home. And basically that kind of became my pursuit after I got out of the hospital. So with that came art and wanting to get beautiful pieces that we can enjoy forever. And that also entailed galleries, and I'm not new to the elitism in the art world. However, now that I almost died, I have absolutely zero bandwidth to deal with people trying to make me jump through hoops or buy other pieces in order to buy the one that I actually want. So I decided to do something about it and fill that market gap and start the Bow Store, which is essentially, it boils down to your friendly neighborhood art gallery. And it's online, so you can shop from the comfort of your home without feeling pressured, without having people make you feel less than or being snubbed. So that's basically the origins of the Bow Store, and it brings me joy every single day because I can help people curate their own homes and make them feel welcome and have things and pieces that sing in their own home. So I'm very excited because this room is recently renovated and it's like all my dream accent. So come with me and I'll tell you about paint color. Let's start with that because that was surprisingly hard to get the white right. It is Farrow and Ball, but a lot of the designers who I adore always say pointing or slipper satin. And I really wanted something almost like the inside of a banana peel. So New White by Farrow and Ball is like my favorite white paint ever. I highly recommend it. The whole house so far in this area is New White. The design inspo, or the jumping off point for this room, was actually Chateau Voltaire in Paris, which is like one of my favorite hotels ever. You should definitely try to go if you are in Paris. But they have every detail, even though it's a white hotel on the inside, every detail is so beautifully thought through. So I tried to bring a little bit of that with like some grids on our ceiling. And I also tried to create a little bit of like a sense of arrival, even though we couldn't put any like walls to divide anything up. So we relied on the ceiling to try to do it with like mini arches that you'll see on the other side. I had to be kind of tricky because the division is right in the middle of our big, beautiful windows. So we had to build as well like a little skirting all around that covers the top of the curtains. So Zara Home actually had some amazing point lights, spotlights, maybe like a year and a half ago. And I'm so bummed I didn't buy a ton at once because I'll show you in our bathroom, they are so great. They no longer make them. So the next best thing that I found was these like antiqued bronze lights from Etsy. And I'm super happy with them so far. So yeah, so that's kind of the ceiling. Oh, actually, no, I have to talk about this room layer pendant because that was my main thing. As soon as we touched ground here, that was the thing from America that I really wanted to have and make sure that it was in our home because that's not available in England. So that was the purchase that we made. And it's tied in really nicely. Honestly, this whole room is just pieces that I love, and it's all kind of worked together with like the color story and kind of the textures. And I think I'm just a huge advocate of buying what you love rather than buying things because they look good or well, that's what the trend is or that's what designers say to use. Houses are supposed to be like so personal and more like a museum of your life. Anyways, let's keep talking about this is one of my favorite blankets. It's totally a random design feature, but it's from Zara Home as well, and it's based off of like kente cloth, which is some of my favorite African textiles. So that brings me a little bit of joy every day. These couches as well are Zara Home. I didn't know I had so much Zara Home in my house, but evidently I do. And these are the Vincent van Dyson. I'm probably saying that wrong. I read his name all the time, but I haven't said it out loud in a while. He did these beautiful like Belgian sloped sofas, and they're really great. I'm really happy with them. And the other one is a beautiful IKEA sofa that came with us from England, which I will never give away and just keep recovering with those BEMS covers because it also has the nice sloped arm and it's just a really good shape. And it also works great in terrace housing. They no longer make it. C'est la vie. So if you want to come with me a little bit this way, I really wanted to make sure that when we first moved in, I forgot that the floors were horrendous. And it was such a disappointment because they were original terrazzo underneath this like tile that catches every bit of dirt. It's like uneven, so it just looks sturdy all the time. We've laid in these are actually laminate floors, which I highly recommend by Floret. I did so much research into this, but we had to be careful here in Florida because of termites and also the moisture because we're only like 5 minutes from the ocean. So I had to be really mindful of what would work long term. And these wide planks are completely waterproof and my kids have dropped everything on them and they're great. Highly recommend Floret. Highly recommend. And then we went for seagrass rugs on the floor just to give a little bit of like that tropical feel without being nail on the head. And also I just love Rush rugs in general. And it's from Rush House, which I think is that's like the main go-to person here in the States. And then I'll go ahead and take you to this table, which this piece I bought for the Bow store and I loved it so much I kept it, which happens to me quite a bit. It's just a mom and a baby. And then I have all of my favorite design books. So I have like Noguchi. I have a book on Beata Human. I have Studio Ashby. I have Fernando Wong. I have all of these great, amazing artists and designers and stylists. And it's really nice because I tried to make this living room not really have the TV at the center. And I've really enjoyed having all these books, which some people, it's not everyone's cup of tea. It's fine. But whenever I sit down, I try to do it without a phone, and I can just pull a book, and it's so nice on a Sunday afternoon to just have all of us reading and just being together. It's not always that way. We do watch TV, but it's just a really nice energy in the house having that be the case. I feel like I should actually show you this really quick, just because it was really expensive. And it was actually one of my Grail pieces as well, which is like Mauro de Brone and Jam London did a collaboration on a candle, and that's quite fun. Huge fan of Mauro de Brone, as you can see. A lot of these little bits, like these, I don't like to polish any silver. I love the patina that naturally accrues over time. So these were from our wedding, which is fun and memorable. This is one of my favorite little things that we have on top of the books, which is a little hedgehog family by a famous mid-century Swedish ceramicist who I love. And it's just a cute hedgehog family that brings me joy. And then over here, this is just for kids' toys. I'm just going to show you really quick. Everything in here is just IKEA. I really wanted our kids to be a part of the family rather than like relegated to the side. So this whole thing is just for toys. And then I just covered it, and I had these curtains made with one of my favorite fabrics, just to tidy it away but still make the kids a part of home. A lot of our lighting I got from England as well. Like this is Matilda Goad. This is from one of my dealers in London named Bohem Interiors. And then I guess I'm really into candles. Truden candles are my fave in this Cyranos. Cyranos, I think, is our family home scent. Highly recommend. I feel like you can't really move from London and not get a green vase paper geranium. I feel like that's a very British thing, but I can't really keep plants alive inside. So forever. This piece is also by one of my favorite artists named Joshua Smith, and he's based out of Cornwall. And this piece is literally a tuning fork for our whole house. And I bought it just because I loved it. I had no idea it was going to be here. I didn't know where it was going to live. I bought it in England, and it's come together so beautifully. I'm so pleased about that. This is probably my favorite piece in our living room. It's a Studio Ashby ottoman, and the fabric is like so fun and tropical, and it really brings a little bit of like life to the living room. And also some Cipollino marble. It's an antique table, which I also love. Brings me joy every day. Then I guess to talk about this piece, this is another children's storage piece. This is actually Jake Arnold for Crate and Barrel, and I'm so pleased that I got this because it reminds me so much of like a Joseph Frank piece, which are a little bit out of my price range, but this functions really nicely, which there's no like wobbly hinges or anything. So I'm very grateful that I bought this before it ran out and they don't have it anymore. But inside it's just chock-a-block with kids' toys, again, so they don't feel relegated, but so it also looks nice. I like this Jonas Bolin piece, which when I ordered, it's on a concrete stand. And when it came to the house, my husband, who had to lift it in, well, that was almost a deal breaker in our marriage. He's very patient. These little chairs are a family tradition from Germany and Holland, and they all have our names, and on our birthday we sit on them and sing Dutch songs.
Right.
Then over here, this chair, I have two of them, and one's in my son's room, and you'll see both. But this piece, it came in like broken old pleather from Sweden because I loved the shape. And I brought it to, again, in London, and I had my upholsterer do it in this beautiful cognac rose uniaki, like velvet, and it's so luxurious, and I'm so pleased because it's not like a factory mass-produced chair, but it's really comfortable and still relevant today, so that's quite fun. And then the Out of Human fabric, I think it's called like Folly, Night Folly, can't remember, but it's also one of my favorite fabrics. And couldn't move to Miami without a little shell or rattan curtain or light shout out. And And I think the last thing I'll show you just real quick is I was quite pleased about, I've never done a built-in cabinet before, but this one, the reason why I'm pleased with it is because of the ledges and the teeth in here. I saw that in Nikki Kehoe in New York, which is such a fantastic shop. Their space is amazing. But their whole like staff kitchen that you have to walk through to get to the second floor has beautiful cabinetry with those teeth, and I thought they were the bee's knees. So that's what that is from. This piece is special to me. It's similar to the Jonas Bolin piece where it almost broke my husband's back or our marriage's back. This piece is from Sweden, and it's by one of my favorite designers, which is Axel Einar Jorth. And I'm very pleased that I have a piece by him. Not that I really believe in trophy furniture, but this is just a piece that I happen to love, and it happens to be by him. So win-win. We have also our vinyl player here, which obviously is featuring Taylor Swift. And then Blossom Dearie and all these fun things. Here's my favorite. And then this piece is also fun because I bought it through Studio Ashby, and it's Philip Maltman. It's also a British artist, and this piece, it's funny because my husband was like, it looks like Blue is my son, and he was like, it looks like Blue did it. But it's truly is one of my favorite pieces that we have. I mean, all the art on our walls is chosen specifically because it moves me or else people in our family. So this is no exception, and I love all the colors, and it's 2 thumbs way up. We have another little paper geranium plant. We have a God Bless the Princess of Wales book, and Charlotte Perriand, and all these fun books here. COVID affected my family in many ways. Aside from my own birth story, my husband had pretty much filed for his green card about 6 months after that happened, but everything was so backed up in the visa office or wherever that gets processed. It took 2 years for him to get his green card approved. So we were in this super weird purgatory of like, are we gonna go? Are we gonna be able to leave like this month? And basically it worked out beautifully because our landlord told us that we had a month before they were gonna sell their home, and we would need to leave. And we happened to have, like just before they told us that, the green card was approved. So it was like hustle time when that happened. And we had to choose basically between New York or London. And I love New York City, but I needed some sunshine. So this was a pretty me-centered move since we had a gap in our career that we could both work remotely. We chose sunshine and paradise. And it's been so nice. Instead of being super depressed in March, it's just like the nicest time of the year here. So basically, it was intense for many reasons, but we also had to buy a house super fast, and it was online. We didn't get to come before to scout out anything because the housing market was so hot. We had to make an offer without an inspection. Insane. And we lost out on the first 2 homes that we made an offer on. So it was like, you got to go, you got to move in order to get a house in Miami in 2020. And somehow we did. And it was like threading the needle the whole summer, but we got here and moved transatlantically. And our whole living room, what I'm looking at right now, was just filled with IKEA mats. And we had a mattress in here so the kids could like jump around. And there's cockroaches everywhere when we finally got here, and then we ended up having like this huge infestation of like 2,000 cockroaches. The guy who exterminated it, I didn't know I was going to talk about cockroaches, but he said he'd never seen an infestation like that before. So we had a lot of things to do when we got here as well. But we now have made it a home. You are now in our dining room, which kind of spills into our living room. But this, I'm really excited about everything I'm going to show you because I sourced this in Sweden, and it's a vintage Joseph Frank pendant. This and the Roomler light, I think, might come with us back to London because I just can't bear to leave them behind. I feel like it softens everything with the wood that I have going on here. This table is one of the coolest pieces I've ever had. The legs, I don't know if you can see them. but they have like they remind me a lot of the same designer who designed my sideboard, which is Axel Einar Jorth. He does pieces kind of like this, and he has some like the Uto table. I mean, those are like insane trophy pieces, but this is an actual antique, beautiful, huge piece from France, and it feels like a Jorth piece. These chairs I sourced in England, and they are by Henning Cadernal. It was not good fabric, what they came in, like really thin Hawaiian print. Yeah, which could be a vibe, but it wasn't. So instead I did the beautiful, like I think it's probably my favorite Be Out a Human fabric, the marbleized velvet that they do. And I put it on every chair, and I have to say it is the best fabric I could have chosen actually for these chairs because it hides everything. I have a 4 and a 7-year-old, and they do lots of art on this table, which adds to the patina. But like we have had food drop highlighters on this velvet, and it blends right in. So highly recommend. And then this vase brings me so much joy as well. It's a Danish vase. I don't know if you can see that. It does not hold water, as I found out the hard way when I tried to put lots of roses in there. Now, this is my beloved Spanish antique cabinet, which went in our London terrace home perfectly just to the left of our fireplace. This has come with us and lived many beautiful lives over the years. And I basically just have knickknacks in here and some books that I really enjoy. And then in the bottom bit, it carries our water wipes for our children. But like I have things like, tarot cards, which I can't read, but tarot cards from Nikki Kehoe, who makes fabulous things. I love Cavaliers. I don't know who made this, but we bought it in England and I love it so much. Another Moreau de Brone candle. And yeah, I guess the one thing that is like my absolute favorite in this whole vignette is I found this little heart box, which now my kids love, and they always have things in it. It's like a little magic treasure box. They leave things behind in there. But it has like turquoise and coral, and it's really small, but I got it in England, and I love it so much as well. So, oh, wait, no, actually, I also want to talk about this butcher block table because it is so heavy and hard to move, but it is some of the most beautiful wood. It's just stunning. I tried to be a florist, make a rose arrangement. And then this light, I don't recommend buying. This is not Jean Royer. It is a knockoff, or like an ode. This is a nicer way to say knockoff from Etsy. And it's so horribly made. And I just realized that a light bulb's out. So I love them because I love the pop of red. I think it's really a great addition to the area, but I can't recommend the maker of those. If you do get a Jean Royer replica, make sure you go to Edition Modern out of LA because they are the only ones that are certified or approved to make the replicas, not on Etsy. I spent all of my free time on Zillow just trying to find a house, and as soon as something caught my eye, I was like, go, go, go. But this house, it actually worked out beautifully that we missed out on the first two because this house had such good bones. It's a 1960s bungalow, which sadly has been touched by boomer renovations. So everything was like builder white, but old and dirty standard interiors. So we knew it was going to be an uphill climb. It was like, I'm sure without an inspection, we were going to have to do the air conditioning and the roof and all this fun stuff and the pool pump before we could even renovate. But the backyard is really what drew me to it because it's so bright and takes advantage of the Florida sun so beautifully. And there was also no plants basically when we arrived. I spent the first year, especially that first 3 months, waiting for our container to arrive, which had all my art, so I couldn't work again. I spent all my free time planting everything in the yard. So 95% of what is growing in the yard right now, I planted myself. So there was a lot of potential, and it's turning out to be my dream home. So that worked out. It was like the best possible outcome from a very shaky outset. We are now in our entryway, and I really wanted to set the tone of the house with an allusion to like Florida heritage. So I really wanted to do like this I want to do everything expensive. It's kind of my toxic trait, but I was going to do beautiful like panels with lattice and get it all custom made. And then I saw the quote price, and then we just bought some pressure washed fencing from Home Depot and then like sanded it a little bit and then just spray painted it, and it kind of holds it all together. And I'm really, really happy with how it turned out. So if you want to do that in your own home, it's not crazy expensive, and it works kind of nicely. Again, I've used New White by Faro and Ball in here. This piece, I feel like I have to talk about this beautiful piece, which is it means even more to me than a Rothko, but it looks like a Rothko. So I found it in England from one of my great dealers. Like, he's so good. It's called Punch the Clock in England, and his name's Johnny, and he sources like this pieces from him, and then also my Spanish antique like scalloped pieces from him, among other things. He's so great. But this piece, he told me was found, he sourced it in a barn in England. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have it. It barely fit in our terraced house, barely fit. And it happened to work out perfectly that we had an entryway where we could do it. I don't know where it will go in London when we move back, because space. I have also 2 Autopause these are actually Swedish pieces, which I also reupholstered in Rose Uniacke, the most divine blue. I really want a whole sofa by her in that fabric, the Rose Uniacke blue fabric, but I feel like if I breathe too hard, it crushes the velvet, so I don't know if we'll ever do that. This is a French bench. And it has lots of patina, lots of old wood wormholes, and lots of sun bleach, and just really rich and divine. I really love this entryway with lots of books piled on, and lots of, I only buy antique shells, but like some of these clams are from Chiswick Market in London. And my ever-growing pile of magazines. This piece, I was quite excited that I found it, because I don't think the person who sold it to me knows what it was, which was a freebie for me. It's Pierre Chapeau, and it's just a really great piece. In general, I love pine pieces, which happens to be quite the plot du jour. I'm going to talk about this Cuba cloth, which my kids absolutely love. They just sit here and do like a maze. That is so sweet. So it's been a big hit for the little ones as well. It was really hard to find a tapestry holder that wasn't horrible, and this I found it was actually like a Southwestern, like from New Mexico dealer who makes these really cool holders. And so that I wasn't going to be able to hold it or put it on the wall until I found something good. And I'm so grateful that it worked out that way, because I love this piece. I have like a straight on view from my bedroom looking at it, and it's just a really cool texture to add to the area. And then this piece is me. Kind of punchy to have it right in the entryway where it's like, look at me in my pregnant state. This piece is extra special to me because it was actually painted 2 weeks before I had to have my baby early and the whole hospital thing. So this is blue in my tummy before we were on breathing support. So it means a lot that I got to have a little capture that moment, because it was taken away very quickly. And this is also by one of my favorite British artists, Morad Keister. Her artwork is divine. You should definitely check that out too. The other thing I wanted to show you is I really struggled to find a curtain to cover our, basically you can see out to the road from our front doors, and I really wanted to have like the cozy privacy, which I think is more of a British thing. We had that just to keep the draft out, but close up all the windows at night, make it really cozy. And it was really hard to find curtains that didn't go all the way on the ground to run on like the grass carpet or get tangled. Anyways, these are shower curtains from Nikki Kehoe, and I love them so much. So if you're in a pinch, actually, do you know, if I ever did a built-in like bed, like into the, like a little nook, this is also what I would do as curtains, because it's like the perfect height and length. Anyways, good thing to have in your back pocket. They're really great. Now we're going to go into the kitchen loo, which is one of my favorite places. I have a few things I want to show you in here, but first is this beautiful sewn wallpaper, which I can't believe we got. It's so beautiful in real life. I have some pieces. This was actually the first piece that I sourced for the bow store, and I kept it. I think they call that, getting high on your own supply, which is definitely the case. I have this Trudon candle. I think it's of Napoleon, but it's made of wax, and I love it so much as well. So on top of this is all burl wood, and it's really beautiful. This is a little sardine from Portugal from my store as well. I also got some Loewe perfume, and the only reason why I'm showing you is because it's called Miami's, which is fun. These lights are from the Czech Republic, and they're really pretty blue, like a teal aqua blue. My hot take on soap, this is Loewe Marijuana, which is my favorite scent. I think that this is the new Aesop, so there you go. I also put in a backsplash recently because it used to just be the sewn wallpaper, and I was getting stressed that it was going to get wet and ruined. And then the last thing that I want to show you, these I wanted to show because these are little hand-painted Delft tiles by Aviva Halter, who is also from England, and she is so talented, and she painted my beloved Buzzy Bear. And it's literally a spitting image of him, and he has heart failure, so it's extra meaningful because I don't know how much longer I have with him. This is a weird one to want to show, but it's from BDDW, this loo roll holder. It is the most beautiful loo roll holder I've ever had in my whole life, and I saw it originally at 9 Orchard in New York City because everything is outfitted with BDDW, and this, I was so excited to find it in the colorway I wanted, everything, so that might also come with us back to London. Now we are going to go down this hallway, and I'm going to show you some art as well. I chose to do cream. It's a little bit punchy with young children, but I did cream grass cloth, and then I did a black ferro and ball trim. I wanted it to be a little more like French. Quite fun. These are all art pieces that I love that didn't sell for some reason or another from the bow store. So I kind of have not a graveyard, but nothing goes to waste at the bow store because I love every piece that I buy. So I'm happy to put it on my walls if it doesn't sell right away. This rug is from the Edit 58, also in London. She sources some really pretty Turkish, unique and unusual Turkish rugs. Highly recommend checking her out. This piece I'm actually going to show you really quick because this piece is my daughter's art. And I love the frame with the bamboo, and it's just really fun. So it's a part of the art stack that I have going on the wall. I don't really recommend for my own homes to put pictures of the walls. So I feel like they need to be have more intimate moments. So they're all in match pewter frames throughout my house of family photos that mean a lot. That's another really good hot tip is match is my favorite, hands down my favorite, unless it's from Sweden and it's antique. So there you go. This piece is actually my favorite one in the whole house, mostly because of the colors, and it's from France. And I also bought this for the bow store, but I couldn't even try to sell it because of the colors and the way it makes me feel. So cool. And it's also mid-century, which is fun. All right. Now we are entering this space. I don't know what it's called. It's not really a holding area, but it's just the entry meeting way of all the bedrooms. I really wanted to make sure that we had some ochre in the house. The color is one of my favorites, and you'll notice that I've pulled on my favorite hotels as little design threads throughout our house. But Heckfield in England has this amazing bedroom called the Ochre Room, and I just thought it was so slick. And so I wanted to do something similar and have some grass cloth in the ochre color. And then all of these pieces, oh, actually, this piece is another vintage Joseph Frank piece, which I adore so much, and it's from Sweden. This is a random little thing, but this is a little green man from England, which I love, folklore and the ley lines in England and by Glastonbury. So that's just a fun thing that I have on our wall as well. Almost everything here has like some sort of special meaning. Our family loves rainbow, but it usually is quite difficult to find nice rainbow. So we had Catherine Jones, who's another great artist, paint these. We commissioned her. And then we had my favorite framer, Harry Eagle in England, do beautiful marquetry framing. So fun to see this every day. And then if you want to look over here, I have this frame. I can't believe they made it for me because I have very specific things in my mind. And when makers and people who I work with are down to do it, I'm always so grateful. But this is by Hawkins Framing, also in London, who's fantastic as well. And he did this rickrack frame for me, and it's really fun because this is a Christo and Jean-Claude installation that they did in the 80s in like Key Biscayne here in Miami, and it's signed by them. And that was I got that for like a Doctors Without Borders fundraiser, so it's extra fun. Again, pieces that didn't sell from my store that I love. And this one is kind of a fun one because my husband and I met in Guatemala. So this was a Quetzal that we got during that trip, and I had it framed, and I've just kept it for all these years. Good thing we got married because that would be weird otherwise. So these two little emblems that I have above both of my kids' doors are their zodiac signs, which are so I actually found them on Etsy, which is fun, but I Googled or searched for mid-century Swedish zodiacs and found exactly what I needed. So I have one Capricorn and one double Aries, which is quite sweet. And I also mentioned Zara home lights a few rooms back, and these, I don't know if you can see them, but they are so slim and so slick, and they were only $70, and I can't believe I didn't buy more. But they are used in this room and then also in the kids' bathroom. My interior design philosophy is that you don't need an interior designer, you just need time. So a lot of the pieces that I have in the home right now were actually accrued over that like weird 2-year holding period where we didn't know if we were coming or going, but we knew that we were going to move. So when I came across a piece that I really loved, like from one of my dealer friends especially, there are so many outstanding dealers in London. We lived in a terraced home in London, and like there's usually 3 rooms, like the living room, the middle weird holding room, and then the kitchen in the back, and the middle holding room became my furniture storage. So everything, I would say like 80% of the things that are in the home came from England, which is quite cool. So it's a lot of love and time and picking things that made me feel something. And that was like, I feel like that was honestly the key to bringing it all together. So this is our master bedroom, and we did start with the bed. That was like the most important foundational piece. Obviously it's a bedroom, but mostly it had to be low for the dogs to jump on and easy for the kids to get in. We didn't have that in England. Ours was like quite high, and I wanted to do something different. And I am partial to white linen beds in general. And this one was from Crate & Barrel by Leanne Ford, and it has been the coolest bed. I'm so pleased with it. So I don't know if they still make it, but highly recommend it. And I have 2 side tables, which are, again, the stumps. And these were from Anna Ewan, who's also a dealer based out of England and Mallorca now. And I wanted to talk about this piece because I'm very particular about bamboo furniture in general. And this was the first piece that I've liked. And I was very excited because I found it in Palm Beach, of all places. Well, there's actually a lot of rattan and bamboo in Florida, but not all it's good. So I was very excited when I found something that I really liked. And I paired it with this super cool piece by Martin van de Bos, who's also a London-based artist. And it's I just love art so much, but I love this piece very much. Again, lots of books. Got some Rose Iniaki, Ashley Andro. Just good Murano candles. I highly recommend fun candles like that because then you can reuse the vessel. These little eggs were never meant to become a thing. I literally, I bought them in an antique store in England because I couldn't find, basically my kids were antiquing with me in England, and we were staying at Heckfield, which has this big like slope out back. And I was like, let's go find some balls so you can like roll them down. And we didn't find a toy store easily, but I found an antique shop with eggs. And so we used those. Those were our fun toys, and they have ended up being the gift that keeps on giving. We play like Easter egg hunt year round. They're great. Again, the bedding is all parachute. This is very real. It's wrinkled. This is what happens with linen. I love it. Now, these shell lights I am obsessed with, and they're by makers named Mahe and Kazanave, and they are some mid-century lights that I got in England by one of my favorite dealers, which is Punch the Clock. Johnny's amazing. I have lots of pieces from him in general. Another shout out to fellow dealers. And these are the beautiful parachute Jake Arnold curtains. They're in every room. We use them in every room. They're so great. These are also Swedish mid-century chairs, but I had them reupholstered in rose and yaki, like olive green, and they are super cool. I have another stump because I just love tree stumps. I love how they give a lot of organic texture to a room. And I think I'll also show you this is also unrenovated and there's no lights, full stop again, but I'll show you the wallpaper. Sorry, you're going to be close to my face. This is the wallpaper color that we're going to do with cardamom. So this is cardamom by Farrow and Ball, and this is the Serena and Lily green grass cloth that we're going to use. It's going to be epic whenever we can do the renovation fully. Another piece that I bought as soon as we moved to America was this wicker urn from Mainly Baskets, and I've always wanted one, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to have a country home in my life in the British countryside, and this will hopefully be in the entryway with a huge fern at some point. So almost every piece, every single piece will be a forever piece and come with us through every home. So my goals with creating the house in general, or any home that we move to with my family in our lifetime, is always I want it to feel safe and warm and beautiful. Those are like my 3 keywords. So this home has really turned into meaning so much for my family because we've had to basically build it we didn't build it from the ground up, but we did at the same time because the inside is completely different now than what it was. And it's bittersweet because we will go back to London probably in the next 2 to 3 years, which is great because I align a lot with British style and I love the network that I have there. But this is my dream home. This bungalow is everything I've ever wanted. It's one level. It's not big and scary. It's not too small. There's sunshine everywhere. It's like a tropical paradise. So this home has meant so much to me as well, to try to sharpen my own teeth with design and making plans for interior gutting, which was a whole new frontier. We've never owned a home before, so this was learning in the fire. Learning by fire? It was learning by fire. No, trial by fire. Oh my gosh. It was trial by fire. Thanks, Homeworthy, for coming to my house. I absolutely love talking about interiors, so it was a real pleasure for me. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.